Game Chat with Bwana episode 75 coming at you right now.
Welcome to Game Chat with Bwana, your source for gaming news and reviews. Now, here's Bwana McCall.
Where am I? What happened to the chat? Where is everything? This is Game Chat with Bwana, I think. Episode 75 coming at you live at twitch.tv/Bwana, live.bwana.tv. We are chatless. And we got all kinds of differenty things and all kinds of brokenness. I don't know if I can work in these conditions. I got to talk to my manager. I'll have a long conversation with the gentleman in the mirror later this afternoon. This is Game Chat with Bwana, episode 75. Episode 75. And we're going to talk about lots of stuff. Actually, only about 7 or 8 stories. But we got some juiciness. Let me tell you what, boy, howdy. These stories, if you squeeze them and put them in a cup, you'd get juice. Game Chat with Bwana, episode 75. What we do here at Game Chat with Bwana is that we talk about the last 7 days of gaming news. And I've been on hiatus for quite a bit because of our interactive features being hindered by technical issues. Some of which are mine and some of which aren't. We've been having some chat inconsistencies, so some people would be able to chat and others wouldn't. So that would kind of hinder the experience. And, it was a big distraction. If you try to do a show, I've done shows a lot of times with technical problems going way back to Ustream. It makes doing a show hurt. You're in physical pain. You literally look at your hand and you go, ow! It hurts. It literally hurts to do a show, and you don't want to do it. So I was like, all right, let me give it time. I'm gonna give it time to fix itself. I'm gonna give it time to fix itself. And a week went by, and then 2 weeks went by, and then 3 weeks went by, and then some other time went by, and then it was about 4 months later. Here we are. Game Chat with Bwana. We're going to try to do it some kind of way. We're going to try to give you some kind of I want to give you content. I know a lot of YouTube subscribers will unsubscribe if they don't get content. Like, Bwana, you haven't done a show in 2 days. I'm unsubscribing. You know, a lot of people demand content. So I really want to just put something out there. I'm not a big fan of changing my format often. If you've been following my shows, you know that I stick to a format for quite a while before I change it. Because, consistency is important with this kind of stuff. So I didn't really want to revert to this format unless it was absolutely necessary, and it turned out to be absolutely necessary. So we're going to go ahead and get started, talk about some games and some chats and some stories and some... Yeah!
Game Chat with Bwana would not be possible without the support of our corporate partners. Twitch.tv, Wirecast, YouTube, and 123 Systems. Thank you all for your support of Game Chat with Bwana.
Yeah, we're going to talk about some stories now. And for our first one, we're going to talk about that, oh yeah! It's probably called something else. OUYA. Probably OUYA. Yeah. But here at Game Chat with Bwana, we call it it's like a combination of Randy Macho Man Savage and a little bit of Kool-Aid Man mixed together, and you get this oh yeah type of thing to come out. But what I want to talk about in this story is that OUYA has launched it. They've launched it. I don't know what I put in that coffee, but English is not working for me today. They launched some kind of a Kickstarter, and I was like, what? When I first saw the headline, I immediately go, you're not getting no more of my money, even though I didn't give you money before. But they launched a new Kickstarter to fund match development studios that develop for their consoles. Because, as Steve Ballmer has taught us, for any platform to succeed, you're going to need developers. You're going to need developers. And this, it raised a lot of red flags because these guys, what did they get? I think it said in here, they raised $8.5 million in their initial Kickstarter drive, and while they're offering to match whatever you submit in terms of dollar amounts to the tune of $50,000 minimum. So if you submit $50,000 to $250,000, that's what I understand. That this company plans to match any pledges between $50,000 and $250,000 from developers, and give $100,000 to whoever kicks in the most. So these are some large dollar amounts for Kickstarter. They're not like, if you give $100, we'll kick in $5. If you give $200, we'll kick in $10. No, these guys are like $50,000. So, sure, they really want developers to jump on their console. I don't blame them. They have to in order to succeed. But I just by them doing another Kickstarter to me is kind of like saying, we want some more money. Even though it's not for them, you get the impression that they want more money. And you don't, they've already launched, the thing's out, it's getting like lackluster meh reviews, and they're asking for money. So that whole premise kind of puts people on the defensive. Like, wait a minute, all right, y'all just got $8 million, and what you want money for again? Now that's before you even hear what they have to say. You're just like, you want some more money now? You want some more money? You want some more money? You want some more money? I can't get any higher than that. But check it out, guys. I don't know, man. We're gonna be following this one. We're gonna see what they do. I understand their intentions, but man, you want some more money? Man, check it out. Over on thegadget.com, they got the details and all of that. Now we're gonna talk about the next story. This is kind of sad, and I want to say sad, but it's, to me, it's like tragic because these are some of the best games I played on the PS3 when I was playing a lot of PS3. SOCOM PS3 servers will be signing off for good, and you never ever want to see this in any game, especially an online only game. This is why a lot of us don't like online only games, because they could die at any moment. You're at the mercy of the server providers, which in this case would be the companies behind it. Now that's why we're all about, PC gamers are really adamant about dedicated servers, because this is a safety net to prevent stuff like this from happening. If you run your own dedicated servers and the server infrastructure is there, then even if the company doesn't have any more money, we can still play the game. So, I mean, that we're not limited by the company's success in order to play the game. And that's something that PC gamers clamor for all the time. That's why when Modern Warfare first came out with no dedicated servers, people protested with nuts, like, they said words similar to that. But the SOCOM PS3 servers are signing off for good, and it's not a good thing. As of January 28, 2014, Sony has announced that the servers are going to be shut down and make MAG and SOCOM Confrontation obsolete because they are online only. Now, the other SOCOM games, I believe, do have single-player components, but yeah. But we kind of knew this was coming, that because Zipper Interactive went under, so naturally the games, we didn't think that Sony would just pick them up and keep them going forever. But I don't know. It's a bittersweet, sad moment. I'm telling you, man, I had some of the best memories with MAG. I don't know if you guys saw my 40-minute review on YouTube. A lot of people were introduced to MAG by my YouTube review. It was like the that's like the only shooter I played a lot of on a console, and to this day I have not seen a game match it on any platform, even on PC. And people are like, oh, brother, what about Battlefield, brother? What about Prince and Pure? Prince and Pure has had the. I'm like, well, no. No, they don't have all the features that MAG had, because MAG was unique in that regard, and it was good. It was a game that forced you to act as a team. You had to. You had no choice. If you didn't, it was just like, oh my goodness, what is this, man? It put so many things in place to promote teamwork and a chain of command that when people did things semi right, it was just like, oh my goodness, this is the awesomest thing since sliced ice cream cake. But really, really sad to see MAG SOCOM PS3 servers signing off for good. Check this story out, guys. This is over on joystick.com. They got the details over there about these servers shutting down as of January of next year. Now, let's talk about something cool. Cool. There was this game called Dishonored. And if you're a PC gamer, you know that this, hopefully you know that this game was on sale in the recent Steam summer sale, which I might add has been a pretty good summer sale. I'm happy that I have grown up and have improved my self-control skills, because there once was a time when I would have bought every game on sale and went into depth doing it. But I was pretty good this year. I only bought a couple of games. I bought Metro Last Light yesterday because I was waiting on that to go on sale. And I got RPG Maker, which turned out to be much better than I thought it would be. And both good purchases. And I bought a bunch of games to give away. We gave away a whole bunch of stuff, including Dishonored, on our channel to our followers here. Thanks to our subscribers. Thank you guys for donating $5 a month. It goes towards sweet stuff. That. Now, Skyrim. Let's talk about Skyrim a little bit. Skyrim is one of these games that I can only get enjoyment out of. I don't know why. I can only get enjoyment out of it by going into it with a derp face. I just launch it and I go, and then I just start doing stupid stuff with mods. I'll run around pushing people, jumping around, fly through the air, run around the dragon 1,000 times with a speed boost. I'll just do stupid stuff. I don't know why. I have the most fun in Skyrim through the crazy stupid mods. So when I saw this article that there's a Skyrim mod out there that's going to add Dishonored signature abilities, I immediately said, all right, I guess it's time to reinstall Skyrim, because I'm going to be jumping inside of people and taking the control of their bodies. Because in Dishonored, there was an ability called Possession, and they have this in this mod, where you can take control of a being. And even in Dishonored, you can take control of rats, which was kind of disgusting. But yeah, and they got the bend time ability, where you can slow time to a crawl, wind blast, but that's just like the first ability. Devouring Swarm, you can summon a horde of rats. Void Gaze, see in darkness and detect beings through walls. And Blink, gotta have that Blink, man. That Blink, leap across distances instantaneously. So I'm gonna check out this. This is called the Gifts of the Outsiders mod for Skyrim. And hopefully it will live up to Dishonored's great abilities that the game brought to the gaming universe. Because, like I said, man, the game's great. It was on sale on Steam for a very cheap price. I don't remember the exact price. I think it was sub $20, though. It wasn't more than $20. I think it was even sub $10. But check this game out, or check this story out. This Skyrim mod as signature abilities called Gifts of the Outsider to our beloved Skyrim, which we love so much. So check it out.
Tune in to all things Bwana throughout the week on live.bwana.tv and on twitchtv.com/Bwana.
All right, for our next story, I had to get a swig of coffee and some water, because this one gonna take a lot of spit. I just said that. Hi-Rez Studios. Hi-Rez Studios. Yeah. Recently, let's give you a little backstory. I used to play this game called Tribes, and I loved it so much. There was this free-to-play version of this game that is called Tribes of Sin, and I played that a lot. I even had a segment on my live stream that went for months called the Tribes of Sin Morning Workout, where I would try to hone my skills and get blue plates all day, get mid-airs. And sadly, the game began to deteriorate. Server performance went downhill. I got a lot of lag. I couldn't. It was to the point where I couldn't play anymore, and I was very sad. And just recently, a user on the Reddit forums posted a open letter to Hi-Rez, basically asking, "What is the state of the game?" It wasn't a complaint. He was just saying, "Are you guys going to continue to support the game?" So the CEO, Todd Harris of Hi-Rez, went on record to say that the game's not going to get any more support for the foreseeable future and beyond. He actually said that you'd see Tribes of Sin 2 before you see a major update to the game. And the last update that Tribes of Sin received was March of this year. Now, granted, the game came out April of last year, so it was shy of 11 months old when it received its very final last update. So people went nuts, including myself. I ran around the house 6,000 times in my mind and screamed in my mind. And I exclaimed to my wife in my mind, "This sucks!" And I was even playing this game called Smite for a while. And Smite is made by Hi-Rez Studios, and I had a lot of fun. I said had because I haven't played it since this announcement. I had a lot of fun. I mean, I was really getting into it. I was playing the arena mode a lot, and I even started playing the conquest mode, which is the typical arts, 3-lane with towers and creeps and such. And I was really getting into it. But then I saw this, and one of his quotes in his statement was that they're going to support, this is what he said now, they're going to support Smite for the next 6 months, and then they're going to start working on Global Agenda 2. Global Agenda was a title that they worked on before Tribes of Sin. So in my mind, I go, wait a minute. Let's look at history a little bit. First they had Global Agenda, and then they came out with Tribes of Sin. When Tribes of Sin came out, they dropped Global Agenda. Tribes of Sin came out, then Smite came out. When Smite came out, they dropped Tribes of Sin. Global Agenda 2 is coming out. What's going to get dropped next? Smite. So I was like, wait a minute. Why am I giving this company money if they're not going to support the games beyond a few months? And I thought to myself long and hard, why are they doing this? And Total Biscuit even went on record, and I've seen it everywhere, and I agree, that they're a very small indie studio, and they can't take on more than one game at a time. Really, in terms of hardcore supporting one and developing another one. So naturally, you would want to hire more people, right? Right. So this article over on Rock, Paper, Shotgun kind of shed some light on the issue. And there was an interview with Todd Harris, and he asked him a lot of questions. There's a lot of stuff here. And one quote in here, and I want to play a video too, so you guys get a sense for what I'm talking about. Because I don't want you to think that I'm just bitter because Tribes went under. There's a lot of history behind this. Let's see. There's a quote in here that he mentions. I can't find the quote. But let me give you some context, because that quote was a good setup for context. I'll tell you the context. Essentially, he wanted to state that the game has received a lot of updates so far. It got a lot of weapons, got a lot of maps, got a lot of stuff. So they pretty much held true to what they promised, right? Let's go in history, and let's take a look at a couple of interviews here with Mr. Harris. We're going to play the audio of these so you can hear what he has to say.
And certainly service. I guess just as a studio, as I mentioned, we're all about ongoing updates, so we're not just going to put this thing out and then turn to the next project. We really want to be supporting the Tribes franchise for a long time.
A long time. 11 months later, no more updates. Let's go to this next one.
Modding is responsible for keeping the original Tribes games alive. Now, a big reason for that is also because for various circumstances the developer support wasn't there. The community picked that up, and that was great for the franchise. However, we are looking at it very differently. We are looking at this not as a fire and forget, we're on to the next project sort of endeavor. We are looking at this more as a service where we're always updating the game, not only with bug fixes, but new content, like weapons and maps, etc.
So, they're not looking at it as a fire and forget game, but they're looking at it as a service where they'll constantly be updating not only with bug fixes, but with maps and weapons and content. 11 months after release, stopped. So, that's the history, guys, that we have. And one thing that was stated was in the damage control post interviews was that they were going to be releasing modding tools for the community, and it was worded as we would like to do it. This is something that we would like to do. Now granted, this is a studio that says that they have a small team and they can only support so much, that they would like to do it. Now, given what you just heard as a promise, those were in the past, those interviews, and what just happened, it's really, really hard to believe him. It's really, 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 really hard to believe him, because he has pretty much done the exact opposite of what they promised the community. So I hope history will prove me wrong, because I really liked Smite. It was a lot of fun. I mean, I haven't had that much fun in a game in a long time. And I had to stop. I said, I can't support this, because, especially in a game like an Arts that constantly gets new heroes, champions, slash, in this case, Smite calls them gods. You can't just stop supporting it. It'll die and wither away, like, quickly. And Dota 2 just came out of beta. Dota 2 just came out of beta. League of Legends is just in stride, just ridiculous amount of success. The U.S. government says they're an actual sport, so players can get visas now. It's crazy. And you got up and coming things like Infinite Crisis and Dawn Gate, nipping at the heels of these two. So they got to be serious about this, man. And they can't do what they did in the past. And I've supported them so much. I bought into the Smite beta. I paid for the All Gods pack. I've thrown so much money at Hi-Rez. That's the most money I've spent on any free-to-play game ever. I've thrown so much money at them. I support them. But now I've come to a complete halt, because they took my baby. They took Tribes, and they just abandoned it. And it's hard for me to forgive that, especially when they promised something otherwise. So check this story out, guys. Over on Rock Paper Shotgun, there's plenty of this to chew on. This has been a ongoing story for a few weeks now. I talk about it all the time on my stream when people ask me, why aren't you playing Smite anymore? Are you going to play Smite? Even people come back and ask me, do I still play Tribes? And I tell them, I can't, because of lag. And with Smite, it was more of a conscious decision that, hey, I can't support this game anymore, because it's probably going to be dead in 6 months. So check it out, guys. This is over on Rock Paper Shotgun. They got the details over there. Now, let's talk about some good news. Wait a minute. This ain't good news at all. My hats. My hats. My precious, precious hats. Team Fortress 2 update kills idle servers. you don't know what I'm talking about, there's this mechanic in Team Fortress 2 where if you're playing the game, you would just randomly get a item drop. You'll be playing like, hey, here's a hat which sits on top of another hat, which sits on top of another hat. You go, I got the hat, and you put it on your character. You can play with it. And sometimes you'll get special hats. You'll get, crates and all kinds of stuff, and you'll get special little items. There's during the special events like the Halloween and the holiday events, and like the recent thing they had with the community driven stuff. You just get a lot of hats, and it's fun. It's a fun little mini game within the game. And naturally, you can also buy these with money, but some people, there's like an underground market of people trading via buds. There's like this underground economy going on in Team Fortress 2 with buds that are worth a certain amount of money, and buds are the earbuds that you got in TF2 for playing on the Mac, so they're kind of rare. But this latest update will not allow you to idle. This is what players used to do to get hats and get items. They would sit on the server and just do nothing. And there were special servers set up to do this. They would basically just allow you to join and not ever quit until you wanted to. And you would just idle there until your hats all drop. You got a certain allocation of hats a week, and you would just sit there and get your allocation and leave. There was a lot of these. A whole lot of these. Was a lot of these. As of this update, the servers have to be, for you to earn items or drops, you have to be connected to a VAC secured server. You have to respond to in-game drop notifications while not utilizing external programs to do so. This is the big deal. Because before, if you got a drop, you didn't have to respond. You didn't have to do anything. You just have to sit there. And then when you got back, you would just say, oh, I got this hat, I got this hat, I got this hat. Now it's forcing you to say, okay, give me the hat. And it says without utilizing third-party or external programs to do so. They're actually, you can tell by that, they're specifically targeting idlers. You only could be running one instance of the game, so people can't use multiple accounts on the same computer, on the same Steam account. And you can't be running in text mode. Text mode is a special way you can run source-based games to where you only see text. And I did this for the recent card drops. When they first came out, they had Half-Life, TF2, and another source game, I forget, DOTA 2. And I ran them all in text mode all at the same time, and I got all the cards. Can't do that anymore. Yeah, so hats have been nerfed. Expect hat prices to rise substantially due to this change, because they're going to be a little bit harder to get. You're actually going to have to be in the game and playing it to receive the drops. Wow. Big change. And I don't think anybody saw this coming, because Valve kind of kept quiet on the whole TF2 idling thing for a while. I mean, there was some initial brouhaha when it first came out, and people got banned for running these third-party programs that simulated stuff. But then, people would join idle servers, and Valve basically didn't do a whole lot. Now, I guess with the Steam market, my only theory is that the Steam market kind of changes things, because there's dollar amounts now associated with the stuff. You can sell your hats now on the Steam market. So, I guess they had to take a stance on idling. Check it out, guys. This is over. This is over on Escapist Magazine. They got the details over there. TF2 hats got nerfed, man. They got nerfed. And speaking of Valve, we're going to talk about our next story. Dota 2 is now available on Macintosh and Linux platforms. I got to say, guys, I'm very proud of Valve. They have done an excellent job with this game. I have watched this game grow from literally the ugliest interface you could think of to a handful of heroes to the game it is today. And I've been following the scene much closely the past couple weeks. And I'm planning to stream more of Dota 2 than I did in the past. And I'm so proud of them. But they've added Dota 2 to Mac and Linux. You can now watch tournaments. You can watch games. It has all the features that we have on Windows as well. You got adjustments to the user interface, matchmaking tools, visual and audio elements, which will will give some insight to those guys. Now, here's some requirements. You need OS 10 Lion 10.7, 4 gigabytes of RAM, and 8 gigabytes of hard drive space, the equivalent of an AMD Radeon 7000 graphics card. Linux will need Ubuntu 12.0.4. That's the current supported version. I heard players got it working on other flavors of Linux, but you might have to tinker a little bit. Dual core 2.8 gigahertz processor, 8 gigabytes of drive, and HD 2600 card. So Dota 2, if you didn't know, it did officially launch on July 10th. Came out of beta, but they're doing sort of a phase launch. They're taking a page out of Google's book. If you ever seen Google release a new product, they always do phased releases. They always do, controlled rollouts. And that's essentially what Dota's doing. They're doing a queue. I know, good term. Dota 2 queue. And I just want to say, man, this is my favorite arts right now. This is my favorite one. People like, Bwana, do you like League? I'm like, Like, Bwana, you play Smite? Yeah. But Dota 2 is number one, man, because the game has so much depth and has such an attractive learning curve for me that you could easily get years out of it. I can see so much potential in playtime in this game that it's just ridiculous. And the professional scene is actually pretty big. People talk about League's numbers all the time, but Dota 2 is ginormous. If you wake up early in the morning when like Americans are asleep and I'm up, I don't know why, there's like Dota 2 people everywhere. It's very big in the EU. It's very big, obviously, in Russia. Big game in Russia and in China and in Korea. It is growing tremendously. And like I said, the game just came out July 10th. Look forward to the international coming next month in August. And that's probably going to be the big boom, because last international we saw a huge uptick in Dota users, and they're up to 4 million users now. It's probably going to be double that after the international. So check it out, guys. Dota 2 dives onto Mac and Linux. Cross-platform play, kind of an important thing, especially with international support where not everybody uses Windows. U.S. is a big Windows country, but other countries, man, they don't use Windows as much as we do. So I'm glad to see that Mac and Linux are getting support over there. Now, next story. Let's talk about that other arts. You notice I say arts now instead of MOBA. MOBA was made up by the League guys, and I'm trying to say arts more now, because arts is, to me, more accurate. I like to think of League of Legends and Dota to be a type of like a StarCraft or Warcraft mod type game, which those games are real-time strategy games. So to call it the action real-time strategy game is more accurate than a multiplayer online battle arena. You can go into World of Warcraft and it'll become a multiplayer online battle arena, given their definition. It's so broad, it's ridiculous. But if you hear me say arts, you know what I'm talking about now. League of Legends developers supports fan projects, and this was actually cool by Riot. Some fans put together this game called League of Fighters, and it's essentially a fighting game using the League of Legends characters, or the IP, the intellectual property of Riot. And Riot actually gave them permission and gave them a go-ahead to use the IP of League of Legends, so you can have Teemo fighting, Blitzcrank if you want in this game. And they gave them permission to do it as long as the game remains free to play. That was their biggest stipulation. And they even updated their legal jibber jabber, as this article put it, that we'll start with our golden rule. You can use League of Legends IP as the basis for a fan project that you're giving away for free, or that's only generating ad revenue. We refer to this as this type of free fan project as a project, as long as you comply with the guidelines outlined below that using our IP. So basically, if the game's free to play or making money off ads, then you can use their IP. I imagine you're going to see a lot of League spin-off games as a result of this update. So check it out, guys. League of Legends developers, Riot Games, being good guys and letting people know, hey, you can use our IP as long as you let the game remain free to play. And for our final story, we're going to talk about Firefly. Shiny. Now, let's be clear here. If you are into sci-fi, any type of space sci-fi or space western sci-fi, and you have not watched the Firefly series yet, stop what you're doing. Stop this podcast. Close the window. Open Netflix. Go to your local video shop. I don't know what it is. Buy the DVDs. Watch the series. Do it. I'll be waiting here when you get back. No, I won't. Firefly is a great series. You may remember the movie that spun off the series called Serenity. Very good series. It's one of my favorites. It's up there in the top 10. This is one sci-fi series I can watch probably the whole series in one sitting once a month and not have a problem with it. I can't, it's hard to get enough of it. It's just that good. So I was very excited to see that the game's going to be coming out for it called Firefly Online. And then I was like, oh, it's mobile only. Okay. And then I made the okay face. I was just like, okay. I just got content with mediocrity, I guess. Because I think the series deserves a full-blown game. And I'm not going to knock mobile platforms. They have fun games. But I want a real Firefly game. We'll see how it turns out, though. We'll see how it turns out, because it may be a good thing, but I think the series deserves more of a bigger franchise. But when you think about it, it may be more chance to fail if they make a full-blown game out of the series, you know, because sometimes these series or TV shows to game transitions go very bad. And I said sometimes, and that's being generous, all the time. It's like very uncommon for a TV to video game transition to actually be good. They're usually pretty bad. So we're going to see how this one turns out. Let's see if the brown coats of the internet will basically get behind this or not. I'm definitely buying it, and then I'll complain. So check it out, guys. That is the story over there at Escapist Magazine. They got the details over there. That concludes our stories for tonight. We're going to end the show after this. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you after the break.
Love Game Chat? Are you looking for a way to show your appreciation? Become a Bwana.tv premium subscriber. Check out the details at Bwana.tv/donate.
All right, guys. So thanks everybody for watching. We're going to conclude the show right here. Like I said, we're going to stop doing the interactive features for now, because people are just loading chat that probably showed up at the beginning of the show. It's just that type of environment we have to deal with. So I gave you the content. We're just trying to get the content out, and we're going to have to rethink how we're going to do the interactive stuff. So I want to thank everybody for watching. Please follow me on Twitter at twitter.com/Bwana or twitter.com/Bwana live if you wish to be notified when I go live. Follow me over here on Twitch at twitch.tv/Bwana, or follow me on YouTube at youtube.com/ILBuffer. We post all types of game clips and shows like Bwana.org Radio, which is my tech news and review show, as well as Game Chat with Bwana, which you have been watching up until now. So I want to thank everybody for watching. This is Game Chat with Bwana, episode 75. And that's a wrap, folks. I will see you all next time. Everybody have a great day. Bye-bye.